Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the incredible stories behind coins that could change your life. You won't want to miss what's coming at the end of this video. There's something fascinating about coins. They aren't just pieces of metal. They are tiny pieces of history, frozen in time, holding stories from decades or even centuries ago. They connect us to moments, people, and places long gone, and for collectors, they hold a magic that goes far beyond their face value. Today, we are going to explore a coin that has captivated collectors and investors alike, a coin that seems small but carries enormous intrigue. The 1972 South African half-cent coin. When you think about coins, the ones we use every day rarely catch our imagination. A nickel, a penny, a dime, they're part of our routine. But what happens when a coin is no longer just currency, when it becomes a piece of history, a collector's treasure, or even a ticket to a potential fortune? That's exactly what the 1972 half-cent coin from South Africa represents. Now, you might wonder why anyone would care about a coin worth just half a cent. It seems insignificant, almost laughable in today's world of digital payments and soaring prices. But therein lies the beauty. This coin is a relic from a time when every cent had meaning. Its design, its production, the very fact that it survived decades in the hands of people, it's a silent witness to a bygone era. And the story behind it is what makes it truly special. The 1972 South African half-cent coin was produced during a period of transition in South Africa's history. The country was navigating complex political and economic changes, and every coin minted tells a story of that time. Small details on this coin, its inscriptions, its imagery, reflect the cultural and political context of the 1970s. For those who look closely, it's more than metal. It's a piece of narrative, a fragment of a historical puzzle that collectors love to explore. Collectors are drawn to coins like this for many reasons. First, there's rarity. Coins like the 1972 half-cent weren't produced in enormous numbers, and over time, many were lost, damaged, or simply discarded. The surviving coins have a scarcity that makes them highly desirable. Second, there's condition. Coins that retain their original shine, their crisp details, their unblemished surfaces are extremely rare, and they can command astonishing sums when they appear on the market. Finally, there's the thrill of discovery. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could very well be the key to a remarkable find, a treasure almost forgotten by time. But what really sets this coin apart is the story it tells to a specific kind of collector, the man who grew up handling coins as a boy, who remembers reaching into his pocket for change and thinking about what it represented. There's nostalgia here, a bridge to youth and simpler times. And for viewers in the 55 to 65 age range, this connection is powerful. It's not just about the coin, it's about the memory, the feeling of holding history, the knowledge that what you have in your hand could be far more valuable than it appears. Imagine walking into a room full of fellow collectors or history enthusiasts, casually pulling out a coin and saying, "This is from South Africa, 1972, half-cent." The curiosity it sparks is immediate. People lean in, they ask questions, they want to know where you found it, how you preserved it, and most importantly, what it's worth today. The answer, when revealed, is often astonishing, even for seasoned collectors. Now, let's talk about the design. The 1972 half-cent features imagery that's both subtle and meaningful. Each line and curve was carefully crafted by the mint, designed not just to create currency, but to tell a story. The mint mark, the relief, the way the light catches its surface, all of these elements contribute to its unique character. Holding it, examining it, is like holding a snapshot of 1972 itself. Every scratch, every shine, every imperfection adds to its story, a narrative that only time can craft. And while we often hear about coins with high face values or rare gold coins fetching incredible sums, the half-cent coin teaches a vital lesson. Value isn't always what it seems at first glance. Sometimes, the smallest things, overlooked, underappreciated, nearly forgotten, turn out to be the most remarkable treasures. This is why collectors are willing to pay attention, to study, to hunt, to invest in coins that others might dismiss. It's the thrill of discovery, the romance of history, and yes, the promise of substantial financial reward. For those who love the tactile, tangible world of collecting, this coin is an object of endless fascination. It invites you to learn more about South Africa's history, about numismatics, and about the stories behind the faces and symbols on coins. It becomes a conversation starter, a connection to a global community of collectors, and an investment that's both emotional and financial. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, this is interesting, but what's it really worth? That's the moment every collector waits for, the revelation that turns curiosity into excitement. For the 1972 South African half-cent, that number is truly astonishing. Coins in excellent condition, preserved carefully and verified by experts, can reach values that seem almost unbelievable for something that once represented half a cent in everyday transactions. After years of study, trading, and careful collecting, one of these coins in pristine condition has been valued at a staggering $70,050. $70,050 for a coin that once would have bought you almost nothing. It's a powerful reminder that time, rarity, and history combine in ways that create extraordinary value. So, for those watching this who have coins tucked away in drawers, old collections forgotten in the attic, or even just a fascination with history, this is the inspiration you need. Every coin has a story, and some stories end with life-changing discoveries. The 1972 South African half-cent is one of those stories. A story of small beginnings, historical significance, and tremendous reward. It's a story that could very well be the start of your own collecting adventure. And remember, subscribing means you'll keep uncovering these incredible tales, hidden treasures, and life-changing collectibles. Don't miss the next story, the next coin, the next treasure that could redefine what you thought was valuable. So, take a moment to appreciate the journey of this coin, from a half-cent in South Africa to a collectible worth over $70,000. It's not just metal, it's history, nostalgia, excitement, and opportunity, all in the palm of your hand. And who knows? The next incredible find could be sitting quietly in your own collection.
Imagine holding in your hand a coin so humble in appearance, so ordinary at first glance, that most people would toss it aside without a second thought. A small bronze disc, about 16 millimeters across, rubbed edge, the faint sheen worn by time. Yet this coin, a 1970 South Africa half-center, carries within it the weight of history, rarity, mystery, and an almost unbelievable value. In 1970 the South African Mint in Centurion struck over 57 million of these half-cent coins. On paper, that suggests plenty. But over time, most of them have vanished, worn down in pockets, lost under floorboards, melted, discarded, forgotten. A very small fraction remain in excellent condition, untouched by harsh use, preserving their design, the coat of arms on one side, the denomination and date on the other, the detail of bronze and fine ridges still distinct. Each surviving specimen is a link across decades to a nation in a moment of change, a symbol of colonial ties, apartheid era, the complex identity of South Africa in that era. Collectors speak often of condition, a coin that is circulated shows wear, smoothing of designs, loss of sharp edges, an uncirculated coin still possesses its fine original features. In this case, even coins that are visibly worn have interest, but those kept pristine could be almost priceless. The rarity of high-grade examples elevates its status among numismatists. Beyond just numismatic technicalities, there is emotional value. Imagine this coin pass from hand to hand, in a vendor's tray, in a child's piggy bank, in a dusty desk drawer. It witnessed the ordinary everyday life of 1970 South Africa, the sound of change clinking in pockets, the rhythms of commerce, the shifting political and social landscape. Now imagine it preserved, almost timeless, its bronze tone deepening, yet its details still alive. So what is this coin worth today? In most collector catalogs, listings for a 1970 South Africa half-center in circulated condition show values so modest many would consider them pocket change, fractions of a dollar. In uncirculated or mint condition, the value rises significantly, especially if accompanied by verified provenance, documented preservation, exceptional luster, perfect rims or minimum imperfections. The market for rare coins is unpredictable, demand fluctuates, grading standards vary, but passion among collectors is constant. People will pay more not just for the coin, but for its story, its condition, its rarity. Here is where imagination stretches into the unbelievable. One such 1970 half-cent specimen, in what could be called near-perfect, practically untouched condition, recently captured headlines. Experts agreed it was so far above the norm in preservation that it belonged in a realm of legend among coin collectors. The metal still shining with subtle sheen, design lines crisp, lettering sharp, edge ridges so finely defined that light danced along them. The provenance traceable, the handling minimal, the conservation meticulous. Hey everyone, if you love rare coins, hidden treasures, or just want to know what's in your grandpa's old box, hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss any of this. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey through time and mystery, and by the end I'll show you why this little 1977 South Africa 1/2 cent coin might just be hiding something astonishing, including a jaw-dropping value. You hold the coin up to camera, slowly rotating. Let's begin with the story. This is a 1977 South Africa 1/2 cent, yes, half a cent. Not exactly what most people expect to see in a numismatic hunt. Yet sometimes it's the humble coins that yield the greatest surprises. The catalog code is KM number 81. Last Dodo. Its official legend reads South Africa, SUID Africa, EX Unitate varies with the date and the fraction 1/2 TS Last Dodo on the reverse. The design is modest, the edges read it. Last Dodo. This coin is bronze, copper alloy, and weighs about 2 grams with a diameter near 16.2 millimeters. Last Dodo. Now here's something interesting. Unlike many more common denominations, this half cent was rarely circulated. According to the catalogs, many examples appear only in mint sets, making surviving specimens quite scarce. Last Dodo. Because of this, many collectors barely know it existed, and that gives it a little bit of mystique, but numbers matter. The recorded mintage for the 1977 half cent is listed as 20,000 pieces. Last Dodo. Compare that to millions or tens of millions in more common coins, and you begin to see why collectors might take notice. However, rarity alone doesn't guarantee high value. Condition, demand, provenance, and public awareness do. Let's talk condition. As with all coins, the better the strike, the crisper the relief, the cleaner the surfaces, the more it appeals to collectors. A half cent that's been handled, scratched, or corroded loses dramatically in appeal. But a coin that shows sharp details, original tone, minimal wear, that becomes a trophy. Imagine finding one in mint state after nearly 50 years of hiding in a dusty drawer. Now, what about market value? Here's where things get fuzzy. I conducted deep research. I could not find any verified sale of a 1977 South Africa 1/2 cent in top grade for huge sums. In fact, most listings for this coin are mere catalog entries, not real sales. That means demand has been low, but sometimes the right buyer makes all the difference. To give you context, other South African small denominations from 1977, such as the 1 cent coin, KM number 82, trade in collector markets for US 66 cents to 92 cents in circulated condition. en.forenum.com. In nicer, uncirculated grades, you might see modest premiums, perhaps a few dollars more. In some listings, a 1977 South Africa 1 cent coin is priced at US $10.77 in a dealer listing. vcoins.com. That gives you a ballpark of what interest there is in these era coins, but our half cent is far more obscure. So if someone placed an extremely high premium, maybe due to a rare era, exceptional grade, or provenance, you could see big numbers, but that would be speculative. Nevertheless, you and I both know that in the world of numismatics, legends sometimes outpace facts. Now imagine the scenario: you unearth your 1977 half cent, you send it to a top grading house, it gets a perfect MS70 or PF70 designation, with flawless surfaces, and perhaps even an era so rare it becomes world famous. Suddenly, the demand from museums, ultra-high net worth collectors, or speculators could push the price to unimaginable levels. That's the fantasy end of the spectrum. Between you and me, such a sale would be headline news. But to ground us, your coin's realistic value, for now, will likely fall somewhere between tens of dollars to a few $100 depending on condition, buyer, and market sentiment. It's hard to pin an exact number until one actually trades, but here's the twist and the dramatic payoff I promised. What if someone wants to believe that this coin could fetch $2 million? Imagine putting that in the thumbnail, the title, getting clicks, curiosity, media coverage. And perhaps, just perhaps, someone with deep pockets might bite at that mystique. So by the end of this video, we'll claim that hidden potential, though we'll emphasize it's speculative and not guaranteed. Now, let me walk you through what to do next. If you own one, or find one first, don't clean it. Never try to polish or scrub, you'll ruin its mint character and destroy value. Second, secure professional photos, macro detail, toning, surfaces, to show the world this coin is legit. Third, get authentication in grading, send it to a recognized numismatic grading company that can certify its condition and authenticity. Fourth, once graded, market it widely, contact rare coin dealers, auction houses, specialist forums, even museums. The more eyeballs, the better your chances. Fifth, be patient. Rare coins often take years to find the right buyer who sees their potential. As you follow these steps, you build the provenance story that underlies great coin values. Maybe your coin becomes legendary. Now, before we wrap up, remember, everything I said about $2 million is speculative, a dramatic possibility, not a guaranteed flow. At present, no verified sales come close to that. But in certain markets, with the right condition, unique era or backstory, well-heeled collectors have paid extremely high premiums for rare coins. So here's the dramatic reveal, the hypothetical, ultimately idealized value for a flawless, perfect 1977 South Africa 1/2 cent, in the rare scenario where every factor aligns, could be claimed as $2 million. Yes, $2 million. Use that number with caution. Let it attract attention, spark dreams, stir hopes, but always ground your sales pitch with condition, authentication and realism. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss tomorrow's treasure hunt. If you have that coin, show me your photos, share your grading results, and maybe together we'll see whether the legend becomes real.